My name is David Machen. For most of the last 40 years, I've been involved in one form or another in radio and television broadcasting, in entertainment terms under the pseudonym King David Mackenzie. As Sheriff Dupnick established so eloquently on Saturday evening, the hate talk broadcasting industry in Arizona has crossed over from an alleged free speech issue with only radio station owners being able to exercise freedom of speech over the public airwaves, to a deadly serious public safety issue. On November the 22nd of 1963, Chet Huntley took time out of his NBC broadcast of the events in Dallas to condemn what he called the sickening popularity of hatred in this country, which had led in one way or another to the combined act of murder and national sabotage in Dealey Plaza. Huntley spoke bitterly about pockets of hatred in our country and places where the disease is encouraged by those who are able to influence others. Had Huntley been alive to hear what poured out of radio speakers in Tucson last Friday and every day for years leading up to last Friday, I strongly suspect he would have been offended by the venom, vitriol, and raw moral sewage that calls itself news talk radio, but is in actuality hate talk radio because news is rarely involved. The time has come for the American public to take its airwaves back from these disease peddlers. Consequently, starting today, the programmers and managers at the hate talk radio stations here, and I will identify them: Clear Channel, KNST, Journal Broadcasting, KQTH, Good News Broadcasting, KVOI, and to a lesser extent, Hudson Communications, KJLL, are going to have to change their programming policies, PDQ. In the Arbitron ratings for the Tucson market for the autumn of 2010, these stations combined could not attract 8% of the measured listening audience. And two of the stations, KVOI and KJLL, were incapable of attracting a full 1%. One out of every 100 listeners at a given hour on their own. The simple fact is that the vast majority of Tucson residents, a measured 92%, did not want to listen to this moral sewage before the massacre on Saturday, and even more of us want to do away with it now. One policy, the primary one, will be to eliminate the hate speech emanating from their transmitters. By the end of this week, I fully anticipate I will be meeting with the managements of these stations, and they will have to start this trend by replacing at least 3 hours each day of their satellite-fed material from New York, Los Angeles, or elsewhere outside of Tucson with locally based broadcasters who will take a respectful approach to discussing the issues we have to confront in this community. I myself hope to be one of these broadcasters, and I know that there are several others here residing in Tucson that will do as good a job as I will. And we are all, incidentally, to be paid for this job. No more of the racket of being charged $500 an hour to gain access to the public airwaves. One of the radio stations that I can think of is going to have to change its business plan as well. If this is not done by the management of KNST, KQTH, KVOI, and KJLL by the end of business on Friday, petitions will be filed with the Federal Communications Commission with the intention of stripping all broadcasting licenses in Tucson from Clear Channel, Journal Broadcasting, Good News Broadcasting, and Hudson Communications. Considering Sheriff Dupnick's statements on Saturday, I anticipate that he could very well be supportive, and as would I anticipate Representative Grijalva. I would welcome their assistance if at all possible. Simultaneously, a boycott of all businesses sponsoring programming on these company stations would be organized. because without their bankrolling this hate talk programming, it simply would not exist here. I call upon people in every broadcasting market in this nation to join and take these same steps in their communities. The day when irresponsibility rules the airwaves is coming to an end. As a conclusion of what happened in that Safeway parking lot, as a result of what happened in that Safeway parking lot on Saturday morning, we must now stand up and push back against the hatred. And we cannot stop until the hatred is eradicated from our broadcast signals. Thank you very much.